Tonight on MGE Sports, Belaire High team captain Christian Hill steps into our player spotlight. We step back into the ring for another 13th round with Armand Rounds, and we'll have part 2 of our special interview with LSU commit Kaleb Jackson. Tonight on MGE Sports.
Advertising and operating a business go hand in hand. Mad Game Entertainment has a long, detailed history of working within clients' budgets and delivering big results. Mad Game helped launch the popular Go Vote app. We've been involved with several successful political campaigns. We assist the everyday marketing needs for small businesses and many other organizations. We custom fit marketing plans for the largest budget and the most modest. We look forward to enhancing your presence in your industry.
My name is Christian Hill. I go to Belaire High School. I'm an upcoming senior, and I play offensive tackle and D-tackle. Well, first, one of my goals is to keep my grades up, and plan on retaking the ACT and get a higher score on it. Because I can't just focus on football. Focusing on football ain't gonna work like that. If I don't got the grades, can't go nowhere with it. So, gotta focus on that first, then I can worry about football. Well, first coming to high school, I really thought it was gonna be hard. But as I started, like as the years started going on, it was like really just easy and stuff. Wasn't nothing that hard, you know. It's some things that are like, I don't know how to explain it. Just, I don't know, the high school years go by fast, you know. Don't really feel like I'm finna be a senior, but hey, I'm finna be one upcoming senior, ain't it? Gotta just make it count. I would say just make it count. Probably math. Miss Thomas. She's really a chill teacher. Whenever you need something, you could just always go to her classroom and talk to her about stuff. Like if you're feeling down, she'll be there to comfort you and all. To that question, I'm gonna have to most definitely say my mom. She always finds the way to support me, always finds the way to buy me things, pay for stuff. Even when I don't need it, always gives me what I want. Yeah, always helps make sure I'm trying to keep on my grades, even though I still say I got it when I don't got it. But she still makes sure to check to see if I do. It's most definitely a good feeling, but like I said, if I don't get my grades up, they ain't gonna keep looking. They just gonna go away and look for the next person. They can't just stay on one person the whole time. Well, really, the camp, it was nice. It was nice, but when I see how much I weigh and see how slow I ran in that 40, I'm like, well, coming into high school, my 9th grade year, I was at 250. Now my upcoming senior year, I'm at 305. Went to the doctor, and they told me I gotta lose some weight. So over the summer, that's what I'm planning on doing, dropping this weight. But back on the camp, it was actually nice. The lineman drills, feel like I got way better at it, but I still got a lot more stuff to work on. Got to work on my footwork, staying balanced, got to get stronger. Yeah. The main thing I was worried about at the camp when I seen everybody is how I'm gonna stand out. You know, can't be the same like everybody else. Everybody got the same dream, but it all depends on who wanted more, you know. Hopefully playing football, but if football don't work out, hopefully I get offered for track. And I just qualified for nationals in shot put, and nationals is in Iowa, but I don't know if I'm gonna go there or not. I'm still thinking about it. Well, one thing that's been on my mind a lot is welding and engineering. Well, really, I feel like I could be creative with building things and like fixing things up and all that. And if I'm not mistaken, I think my uncle did welding too. Yeah, he used to help around fix stuff and all that. Like I've been telling everybody, the 3 colleges that been on my mind was Southern University, Georgia, Florida State. I want to stay in Baton Rouge, but at the same time, I don't know if I feel safe really in Baton Rouge. Like, there's a lot of killing going out here and all that. In October, when I was gone, my house actually got broken into. They stole almost everything in my house, stole my dog and all that. We was able to get some things back and that's it. But yeah, other than that, well, where I live, niggas in a neighborhood called Great Smoke is shooting almost every day. I hear it almost every time I'm going to sleep, and I just fear that one day. Like, just fear one day if I just walk over to what happened to me. Well, I ain't gonna lie, Coach. By the way we've been looking at practice, and to me, I only seeing us getting up to like 4, maybe 5 wins, unless we change in the weight room and stuff. But the spring practice, it was good, but when we played in the spring game, we played exactly how we played last year. The team looking like how it was last year. Everybody not coming to practice, everybody, when they come to practice, they just goof around. They don't do what they're supposed to do. I feel like we should all come together, have a meeting with the team, talk to them about the things they need to change, and just start coming to practice on time, working out, keeping their grades up so they could be eligible to play football on the team. Almost deaf. It just, we have to work on playing as a team. See, last year, everybody, they were just playing for their own stuff. They ain't try to help each other or nothing. Every time someone did something, we used to argue with each other. Used to mess up the whole flow of the game. Well, the truthful answer to that question, I had to say me, Christian Hill. But the second strongest, I almost dare say Kid, and then it probably rounds up to Thule. I mean, it feels good, but see, really, I'm just a humble person. I don't really worry about stuff like that. I don't really put my hands on nobody unless I have to, but it never came down to that, so I'm just really a chill dude. I almost have to definitely say disaster. That time we was finna play Liberty, and we was all in the huddle in the back of the end zone before the game started, and you was getting all hyped up and you pushed me. Like, yeah.
So they got you fired up?
Yeah, they actually got me fired up. Really, this whole track season, I was throwing with nothing but pure strength, no technique. Now that I'm on a summer track team with an actual throwing coach, I'm actually learning technique. But as that's happening, what I throw and shot put is actually going down. But when I fully learn the technique, it'll actually go back up and probably higher. This year I just went straight to district and went to regionals, but I ain't making the state. So this year I'm most definitely planning on going to state, getting better. Definitely going to try to get the school record in shot put. And probably in discus too. Well, me and Coach Wade actually talked about this before. Summer track is actually helping me be more explosive with my hips, and your power comes from your hips. So transferring that on the football field is most definitely going to be helpful. Flipping the switch. That's something I might don't work on finding. Definitely my footwork and using my hands more on the football field. I feel like I need to lose some weight, but it's not a bad weight though. Like actually probably more muscle than fat, but I still need to lose some weight, like drop down like 280 or 285. Keeping people in the game, helping them stay motivated and making sure they don't give up, just keep going, even if we lose. Offense. Well, I like the fact that a tackle or guard, I get to pull around for the linebacker and stuff, and just blocking for the QB, it feels a lot better. Well, this year I missed out on 3 games, and one of the games I really wanted to play was against McKinley. So that is definitely a game I'm looking forward to. And another game is against the Struma again. Most definitely don't want to lose to Broadmoor Hotel. Well, first, coming into high school, keep your grades up before even trying to play football. And don't let people distract you from other things. Stay to yourself. And when you're on the team, don't just think you're the best. You gotta work as a team. It take more than just one person to win the game. It take the whole team to win the game. But for the Belaire football team, just come to practice, work out every day. Stay in school, don't do nothing outside school that get you messed up, stop you from playing football. And yeah. And I love you guys as a family, man.
Are you the best spades player in the land? Mad Game Entertainment presents Crown Holders, Spades Edition. It's going down every Wednesday starting July 12th at the Showroom Event Center in Baker. Scan the QR code and register online for a chance at the grand prize pack, including $1,000. Plus be featured on TV. Register online because only one winning team can hold the crown. You dig?
We have got to find new ways to increase our revenue.
Sir, we can increase our revenue sales by enhancing our social media presence.
Yeah, so does anybody else have an idea?
We can clearly increase our revenue sales by enhancing our social media presence.
Great idea.
Has this ever happened to you?
Make a bold statement. Upgrade your wardrobe at Super Cool Fashions.
Thanks, Super Cool.
Super Cool Fashions located at 6180 Airline Highway.
Here at Brown's Boxing Club, we want to see the best fight the best. With those pillow fists, you definitely can get an endorsement from Tempur-Pedic. The man can stand in rain without getting wet. You couldn't hit him with a handful of rice. Fight fans, this is the 13th round, where we discuss all things boxing, nutter boxing. And on this week's episode, we'll be taking a look back at big-time boxing returning to New Orleans as Regis Prograis fought Danielito Zorrilla in New Orleans at the Smoothie King Center. We'll also be looking at the pre-fight presser highlights between Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence, and we'll go back and recap the Tim Tszyu versus Carlos Ocampo fight. This past weekend, we had the wonderful opportunity of fulfilling media obligations for the Regis Prograis and Danielito Zarrillo weigh-ins. It was very, very intense. The stare down and the beef seemed to be real. Let's take a look at some of the footage. That was a wonderful opportunity for us here at Rounds Boxing Club, being that was our first time being invited to fulfill media obligations at a professional bout. Now, the opening fight of the night was Jeremy Hill versus Mark Davis. Now, Jeremy Hill is bred New Orleans. Mark Davis is from Baton Rouge, so we have New Orleans versus Baton Rouge, first bout of the night. Here we go. First 2 rounds, you know, I thought Jeremy Hill looked great. He looked good. Mark Davis, he was shaking off a bit of ring rust. But let's get into the 4th round. And let's just go straight to the footage. I'll tell you what's happening. Right now, you'll see Jeremy Hill hit Mark Davis with a 3-piece and a biscuit. Bing, bow, bing, bow, bow. Man, let's see it again. Jeremy Hill knocked out Mark Davis in the 4th round with a beautiful combination. That was a wonderful way to kick off the festivities for the evening. Big shout out to Jeremy Zero Hill for getting the knockout over Mark Davis. Now, what had to be the upset of the evening was the next bout that we'll discuss, which is Ramla Ali versus Alejandra Guzman. Now, Ramla Ali came into this bout a negative 1,800 favorite on the money line, meaning that she was heavily favored to beat Alejandra Guzman. Now, this fight started in the first 2 rounds with Ramla Ali. I thought she took the rounds, you know, outboxing, but nothing really major landed. But rounds 3 through 5 were totally different as Alejandra Guzman continuously buckled the knees of Ramla Ali and put her down for the first time in her career in round number 5. Now, Ramla Ali went on to beat the count, but the theme remained the same as Guzman continued to pummel her with overhand rights and went on to stop the fight with a vicious left hook. And we have the footage. Major shout out to Alejandra Guzman for giving the fans in New Orleans what they came to see, and we do look forward to seeing Ramla Ali shake back and return to the ring. We all know that big fights and bright lights bring out some of the biggest stars in industries across the world. We had the wonderful opportunity to sit down with former NBA great and current ESPN NBA analyst Kendrick Perkins and ask him his thoughts, opinions, and predictions on the main event between Regis Prograis and Danielito Zarrillo. Take a look.
I got Regis is not going past 9 rounds, okay? I got Regis with the stoppage. I'm here because of Regis. Well, I'm actually here because of my fighter, Harold Calderon, but guess what? Regis in 9.
Here at Rounds Boxing Club, we rub elbows with the stars. Big shout out to Kendrick Perkins for giving us his main event predictions. Now, on to the main event itself. One of my favorite parts about boxing are the fighter ring walks. It's very interesting to see what kind of mood the fighter might be in. You kind of get that feel as you see them walk out. And of course, we know that Regis Prograis had to have something special coming out in his homecoming in New Orleans. Let's take a look at the footage. Now, Regis Prograis definitely had the crowd hyped and anticipated for the bell to ring. But I am going to have to just be brutally honest with you. I was expecting a lot of slow singing and flower bringing.
There's gonna be a lot of slow singing and flower bringing if my burglar alarm starts ringing.
But we just turned out to get more slow singing.
Well, Mary, oh Mary, don't you tell Martha not to Martha, don't you Martha.
Majority of this action happened in the second round, in which Regis Prograis hit Danielito Zarilla with a vicious right hand and put him to the canvas. Let's take a look at the footage. From that moment on in the fight, I believe the crowd was expecting to see a knockout, being that Regis put Zarilla down so early in the contest. But instead of getting a knockout, we got the two playing Miss Mary Mack. As Danielito Zarilla used his horse and refused to engage into the fight and stayed on the outskirts of the ring, keeping Regis at bay with his jab, while Regis landed the harder, more effective punches. Danielito Zarilla seemed to outland Regis throughout the fight, but Regis went on to win a unanimous decision on the scorecards. Big shout out to Regis Prograis and congratulations to him on his homecoming victory against Danielito Zarilla. Those of you who watched last week know that in our fight predictions, we predicted Regis Prograis to defeat Danielito Zarilla via decision. And that brings us to our next segment, which happens to be my favorite segment. Betting on boxing. On this week's edition, we took the Rougarou, Regis Prograis, and Danielito Zarilla to fight the entire distance and go to the scorecards, placing $85 on this ticket. As predicted, Regis Prograis and Danielito Zarilla fought to the final bell. $85 in total wagers gave us a payout of $620.50, giving us a grand total profit of a whopping $535.50. Ka-ching! Winner, winner, chicken dinner. With that big of a profit, you can keep the chicken, bring on the steak and the shrimp. Speaking of food, Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford held two pre-fight pressers, one in Los Angeles and one in New York, over the past week, in which Terrence Crawford invited everyone to a fish fry, and we all know that Errol Spence calls himself the Big Fish. And Errol Spence invited everybody to come smoke bud and come to a crawfish boil. We have the highlights from the pre-fight pressers. Let's take a look.
Y'all like fish? How many of y'all like fish? I bet your pops like fish too. You like fish, don't you, pops? Come on, you can say you like fish. You know what I mean? Your son the big fish, so he love fish too, you know? So we gon' you know what I mean? We gon' give his pops a piece of fish too.
We Jamaican, man. We smoke bud.
Hey.
You already know how that go. It's legal in Vegas too, so we gonna smoke your ass.
Now, at times during those pre-fight pressers, I must admit the two sound like third graders, but I love it. It makes for an interesting, great fight and lead up to a mega fight in July. Now, last week we also had Tim Tszyu fighting Carlos Ocampo. It took Tim Tszyu every bit of 77 seconds to demolish Carlos Ocampo. Tim Tszyu came out there shooting from the shoulder and throwing hand grenades. Tim landed bomb after bomb after bomb and put Ocampo down Easily. It was a crazy night in which, in the aftermath, Tim Zoo went on to call out the undisputed champion, Jermell Charlo. So hopefully we can get these two to come to terms and agreements and get a fight for the undisputed championship of 154 pounds. Ladies and gentlemen, that is our show. Be sure to head on over to our YouTube channel, Rounds Boxing Club, then head on over to MGE Network, hit the notification bell, like, subscribe, protect yourself at all times. We out. Peace.
It's the best time of the year, summertime, and Louisiana Leadership Institute has a place for your child in our summer camp, accepting kids kindergarten through 8th grade. Our 2-month-long sessions have everything ranging from academic, outdoor activities, and field trips. Visit our website or call 225-358-6700 to enroll your child for the best summer ever.
Welcome back to MGE Sports. And now, MGE Sports is proud to present to you part 2 of our special sit-down interview with LSU running back Kaleb Jackson.
So let me ask you this then, going into, this new experience, new school, bigger stage, you're coming from high school and you racked up a lot of accolades there as well too, but what are some individual goals that you have for yourself? I know it's a team sport,
right?
But what are a few individual goals that you have for yourself as far as going into the new season?
First and foremost, I want to get my name out there, just me being a different type of player, because I know I'm a big athlete and I'm fast, and I know I know people are like the same as me, but I want to get my name out there and show people I'm different, why you should draft me and stuff like that. Because the next stage, that's the first goal. I want to get drafted in the NFL. That's my dream. But another goal, I want to win the Heisman. A running back hasn't run in a while, so I want to win the Heisman. I want to win the Heisman as an individual goal, just to, that being a dream of mine, just to being a great player. Another individual goal, probably, I don't have any more individual goals. I want to win a natty, and I know it's a team goal, but that's another goal for me.
Okay. Now, speaking of that, how long do you think it would realistically take for you guys to get to that national championship again? I'm pretty sure you're aiming for it already now, right. But just you looking at the teams you guys have, growing into these different roles, new players coming in. Mm-hmm. What is your anticipation?
I think this year we're gonna shock a lot of people, because I think last year we shocked a lot of people, but I think this year is gonna be even way better. I think this year is gonna take I think this year may be our best. I want to say best shot, but this year we definitely have a good shot, and next year is gonna probably be a way better shot, because us especially getting accumulated to the offense, to college football, to SEC football. I think realistically we probably have at least 2 more years before we have a legit chance at the national championship.
But you're not ruling this year out?
Of course not.
Okay. Now, how has it been playing under Coach Kelly? Because he came in, he was a very, the news was very polarizing around him, coming from Notre Dame.
Right.
How has it been kind of playing under him? I mean, and I know it's still early, of course.
Right.
But, of course you've met him, but how is it, just kind of getting in there, meeting him, kind of getting acclimated to his style of coaching?
I think Coach Kelly is an amazing coach. Instead of being looking at me as an athlete, he looks at me as a young man, as a human, as a student, and then an athlete. I think that's what makes Coach Kelly different. Honestly, being under him, I think I could learn a game differently, because instead of just getting the ball running, I could learn what defense they're running. I could learn my O-line. I could learn what the wide receivers doing on certain blocks. I can learn everything. Just being under him is going to expand my knowledge as a young player playing football and going to the next level.
Switching gears a little bit away from the game, but of course now you're in higher learning. Have you declared a major?
Business.
Business, okay. And I should have figured it out, because you were very business oriented when you were talking about your track and everything.
Yes, sir.
What made you want to major in business?
I wanted to major in engineering, but that was going to be too much, handling football and engineering at the same time. So I think I'm going to come back into engineering. But I think business is just, I want to learn how to, run a business and stuff like that. I want to learn how to when football is over, because one day football is gonna be over. When that is over, I want to learn how to still make money and not just be a one-tool type of person. I want to learn how to be a businessman, how to make money, how to invest, and do all that type of stuff.
And what type of business are you kind of interested in?
One that make money. How about that?
just whatever generates the revenue.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, kind of pivoting back to the game. What games do you have circled on your calendar that you know? I mean, you're gonna bring your A game every game.
Right.
I get that.
Right.
But what are the ones that you looking like? Okay, I really gotta come in hard.
First game against Florida State, because last year we lost that game to a heartbreak. Okay, I know I wasn't playing, but lost that game to a losing field goal. We was coming back, man, that hurt, but that's gonna be a statement game right there against Florida State. Of course, Alabama, that's going to be a great game. It's going to always be a great game.
Yeah.
And the SEC Championship, that's another game I got circled.
Okay. Now, do you feel like there's a certain, because you mentioned earlier when we were talking that you guys may surprise a lot of people.
Right.
Does that kind of put a chip on your shoulder where it's like, okay, we got to, and not in a bad way, but as motivation as far as like we have to prove these people wrong?
Yes, sir. It's gonna always be some haters. It's gonna always be somebody who say we can't do this or do that. And I think it does put a chip on our shoulder because it makes us better. When you hate and you telling us what we can't do, we gonna go out there and show you what we did do and we can do. But yeah, I think it is a chip on the shoulder that's gonna make us drive even harder on this off season and just make us be better players overall.
Okay. I want to give you the last word on this.
Yes, sir.
I want you to look in the camera and tell the people what they should be expecting from you this season, what you're bringing, and any other last words you want to say.
Me, Kaleb Jackson, I'm going to bring my absolute 110% this season. Make sure y'all look out for me on the field, LSU football, and go Tigers.
Go Tigers. We'll be right back.
What's up? This is your girl Megan Good, and I want to give a shout out to Mad Game ENT.
That's it for this week on MGE Sports. Tune in next week for the season finale of MGE Sports as Armand Rounds takes us on another trip around the world of professional boxing. That and much more next week on the season finale of MGE Sports.